It makes me wanna let it go. Can't let this thing called love get away from you.
Hello, welcome back to the Sierra.
Oh my God, we messed up already. We didn't even do 1 minute.
Hello, welcome back to the one and only Sierra L. King Show YouTube channel. I'm here with my mother. Like I said before, I was going to bring my mother on to the YouTube channel, and I'm going to surprise you guys because today we're going to talk about just wisdom. What is that? How do you know about it? What does that mean? Why is it important to God and the Bible and what it says in the Bible? And my mother is here to talk about her life experience and how wisdom has got her far, and her first encounter with the Bible, and what is that, how did she respond to that, or what did that make her feel like. She can also talk about some of the things that she went through and how probably the word, as we will call it here, got her through that. So I'll go around and introduce ourselves. Again, I'm the one and only Sierra L. King. Please subscribe to my channel, and I'm going to give it off to my mother.
Hi, I am the one and only Diamond King, and this is Princess. And I have my son here, Ernest, and my beautiful daughter, Sweetheart Desiree. And I'm excited to be on the on and only Sierra L. King Show because I always told her that she was Oprah, even when she was inside me. And she just always had this presence about her that was so inviting. And I've always called her Oprah all her life. And so if you ask her today what she wants to be when she grows up, she's going to say Oprah. And she wants to have like the networks and things like that in the channels. But I really believe deep inside her heart she wants to make a change. And so because of that, I support her 150%. And I just want God to use her to the fullest. I'm so proud of her and everything that she has accomplished. We have went through so many things, and I've always learned that what you think is good could be bad, and what you think is bad can also be good. So I always want my children to know that God is the leader. He is the captain of our turbulent sea, and He'll bring us sunshine when He wants, and He'll bring the rain, and He'll calm the storm.
So we're going to hit it off with the first question, which is, what is your story in one sentence?
Basically, something I just mentioned earlier is God is the captain of my sea, and that is what I live by. That is my creed, and that is what I know to be true.
Why do you believe that, Mother?
Because God has always been there for me. There's times in my life that I know that I could have not been here. I was not raised with parents. I was just on my own in the streets. A lot of times I didn't have food to eat or anywhere to go, and I remember always hiding from people and things. But God was my imaginary friend, and so I would talk to Him all the time. And I know that the scripture where He's never left me nor He forsake me, and I would say not ever left me or forsake me. And I remember a time in my life where I think it was a true revelation that God had came in my life. I was actually on the 7th grade basketball team with Fairport Middle School, and I had never made a shot the whole year. So I was just begging God, like, God, please let me make a shot. Please let me make a shot. And I stayed up all night praying to Him that He would let me make a shot. And it was our championship game against Stivers Middle School. And I just stayed up all night long, and then I just was praying like, God, please, please. And not only did I make the shot, I made the game-winning shot in 3 seconds. And I just remember glorifying God. I praised Him so much because I literally thought He heard my prayers. And we had 18 seconds on the clock, and my friend Nia Ross at the time, she was our guard, and she threw up a 3-pointer, and it missed, and it actually bounced off on my side. And I remember just grabbing the ball and knowing, because I had prayed that God could help me do it, I was going to do it. And so when I grabbed the ball, I bounced it one time and put it up for 2 points. And what was so amazing about that day is that the ball just went around and around and around. I think it circled the rim like maybe 5 times. And we all, in anticipation, waited for it to actually fall into the basket. And it did. And so I just knew that God really heard my prayers. And I guess maybe He had always heard my prayers. But I think that was really my first time really praying to God. Because I always felt like if He was with me, why was all these things happening to me? And why wasn't He protecting me? And why would He put me on this earth and not have parents to love me? And what was His reasoning for all of this? And why am I still here? And why am I still struggling? And so that moment, I just felt like He was with me. And so that led me to a lot. I won't ever forget that encounter. And I don't believe it was a coincidence at all, because I didn't make a shot the whole season. So this was our championship game. And I remember my varsity team like carrying me through the crowd and things like that. But that was so unimportant to me. What was important to me is that somebody loved me and somebody cared about me. And I always would just be like, God, why can't I give you a hug? Or why can't I give you a kiss on the cheek? But I just realized that maybe it's more important for Him to be up there than to be down here on this earth. You know, no one can mess with Him and nobody can harm God if He's up there and He's in control of everything. So I love Him so much. I love Him so much, and I love my children so very much.
Thank you, Mom. Thank you for that story. That's very powerful. That's for me, because I know I played basketball in high school and I wasn't that good, but like I was really aggressive. So I mean, at certain points I was always cherry picking down the court because that was my game. Where my youngest brother, he looks older but he's young. So what does basketball mean to you? Since Mommy told this story, what does that mean to you?
Hard work.
Say that again.
Hard work.
Yeah, I heard that, hard work. Does that inspire you? Does Mommy's story inspire you to work harder?
Yeah, because she taught me.
That's good. And Desiree, what about you? You play a sport, right?
Mhm. I play volleyball.
Are you really good at volleyball?
No, but I'm trying to be really good at volleyball.
So, as you can see, we all have our ways of learning and trying and putting forth effort to something we really love and enjoy doing. And our mother taught us that. And so
I taught them how to play basketball, all of them. When they was 2 and 3 years old, I taught them how to play the ball. Even their brother,
okay, well, thank
Chad,
you.
who's not here.
Yes, my
He's
other brother,
21.
Chad, y'all know him. Well, y'all get to know him. He goes by Chad, sometimes Chatty Wad, for those who know him personally. But he also played football in college. And, again, he's still working at his goal, and that's something he dreams about. And we all have our dreams and passions, and that's something our mother taught us to have, even though it may seem like we're not getting towards them or some type of way of making progress towards them. We know that what we want to do in our life. So my next question would be, when did you first encounter the Bible, and what did you think about it? Was you always about the strict Christian life? Like,
I can say that through my life, again, I always had an argument with God because I just felt like it was unfair my whole life. Because not having, mother or father, or having a mother in and out and not having a father in my life, it just made me have not necessarily resentment because I love God so much and respected Him so much, but just a argument with Him. Like, why would you do this? And having my children, I had nobody to watch them and nobody to help me with them. So I was always trying to make moves for them and do things for them. And
Okay, Mommy.
and so I just always wish that I had grandparents for them, and that I had aunts for them, or somebody else to watch them. And then even, trying to pay for childcare, that was fine. But I always worked worked really, really hard, because I wanted my children to have the best, and I wanted them to have everything that I didn't have. So, but then when I got married, my second time being married to my youngest two father, I remember one day being in the kitchen, and I'm always praying, always reading my word, and I remember this conversation with God. I had just prayed that morning for their father to do this and do that and become this, and I feel like I was reading the word, but not obeying the word. I was understanding the word, I was respecting the word, and I would read the word, but I wasn't obeying the word. And so one day in the kitchen, I remember God saying, "You prayed all that to me," and it's almost like I heard him say, "But what do I get? What will you do for me?" And so that was like, wow, God. And I remember just apologizing. I'm so sorry that I'm asking you for all these things, yet I'm not giving you anything back. And so that's when I made a realization in my mind, like, I'm not going to keep asking him for this and that and not giving him everything back. And so I know that by God's grace and through the sacrifice of Jesus Christ and his resurrection that we're here today. But now it's my turn to make a change and make a difference and be as obedient as possible. And although I'm not perfect, we should be always striving for perfection, always. And so that was my life-changing moment, to always, always strive for perfection. I can't say today in my life that that's exactly what I have dedicated myself to do. And not just through me, but through my children. I constantly speak to them about praying and reading their word on a daily basis. Every night before you go to bed, at least read one scripture, at least pray. Because I can say that because of those things, I'm here. I mean, I try to take out myself sometimes. I try to leave this world sometimes. I had the devil tried to attack me externally and internally to take me out of here before I even had children. And so, me having that friend of God, that scripture says, I am a friend of God, allowed me to have just a little bit each day to grow. And so that little mustard seed grew so big that I believe that I am a plant. I am a difference. And I believe that anybody that comes encounter with me, God has gave me a responsibility unconsciously to allow them to see that there's a chance. There's always one more moment. There's always just a little bit else left. And if I can provide that to them, then God will do the rest. But I am his witness.
Thank you, Mommy. That's really good. Ernest, what you think about that? When, like, Mommy said, read the Bible, what do you think? Do you always listen? No?
Not all the time. Well, I do it sometimes, most of the time.
And how does that make you feel? How do you think that makes Mommy feel when you don't do it?
Disappointed.
Disappointed, right? But when you ask her to do something for you and she doesn't do it, how do you feel?
Nothing.
Disappointed, right? Or if Mommy or Daddy do something for you and you ask them to do it and they don't do it, how do you think you feel? Disappointed. Exactly. So Mommy's saying that if she wants God to do all these things for her, but she's not giving God the glory, the honor, the praise, the word, reading her word, praising the Lord, worshiping him, getting on her knees and saying, God, I love you and I thank you just for who you are in my life, God probably probably God's gonna feel disappointed because all she's asking him for is just things and stuff, right? But now that mommy is saying there's more to that, there's more to asking, then you should do the same. You should do more than just ask mommy for stuff or daddy for stuff, right? You should obey what they're saying. The things that they tell you to do, the things that they want you to do, because they know that it's going to help you, right? God is saying the same thing to mommy, you, Desi, and me, and people around the world that we're talking to. Right, Ernest? Right. How old are you? He's only 13, guys. And he knows the Lord. We're going to get back to you. We're going to take a short break. We're just going to take a break and give you some breathers. We'll be back right after this.